It's a beautiful morning. The winds have finally died down, so hopefully it stays that way. It's so much more enjoyable being here when it's calm. But I'm leaving Fort Grey this morning and heading east along Middle Road, which is a four-wheel drive only track, approximately 80 kilometers long and should take at least 3 to 4 hours. So let's go exploring and see what's there. I've pulled up on the side of the road here. I thought I'd go up and take a look at the sand dune just to see what's up on top. This is fairly good dune country, and we've just come out of that lower Lake Binerah region. It's starting to return more to the red desert sands. But you'll still see close by near the lake any sands that do get blown across this sandscape, and there will be still white sands, and then it transitions back to red. You can see the dunes off into the distance, all the same longitudinal dunes. That one, the next one, and off in the distance beyond that, all just following along. But just look at the vegetation, just how dry it is. It is a well-adapted species. There's no wasted moisture in any of these leaves. Everything is just pretty much showing the bare minimum of moisture that it needs. It's nothing. Also all very grey, light, subdued colours, nothing too bright. All well adapted. Come across the remains of this emu. It's been here quite a long time, gradually burying. Still look at that, how well preserved its feet are. They always seem to be the last ones to survive. There'll be strong sinews. Really good building material. If you're in a survival situation, you catch one, you can eat it and use these as twine. Long neck on it. All those vertebrae. And it's a big bird. Found its head. Still got fur on top there. All its feathers. Yeah, I really do like the emu. They're such a beautiful bird. This one was one of the unlucky ones. Out here, probably not enough water around. Found this little green patch where some of the drainage channels come off the road. It empties out here and it must be holding more moisture. Plenty of little wildflowers, yellows, various other herbs and probably a few weed species. It's a vast contrast to see this green, and just outside a little bit it goes back to red desert. The flies are definitely friendlier here, so they must like it. I saw a bottle, so I pulled off the road. It's New South Wales Bottle Company from 1947. So it's been sitting out here for 70 years. Almost perfect condition, like the day it was made. So one of the stockmen or road constructors, whoever was out here 70 years ago, had a drink. Yeah, and it just sits there forever. Doesn't break down. Another piece of history. A plot thickens just nearby. I found an old fence line. This is probably for sheep. It's very short. It's about 4-strand plain wire, so it's not got to get a sheep caught up in barb. So it may have been one of the construction crew for the fence lines. But you see the original post here, and then it's been reinforced with these random metal stakes. I don't know what this is from, whether it was actually made as a star picket or not. But there's a couple along the fence line here, so they must have done some repairs over the years. There's really not much left of it. It's wonderful to see how with sufficient rains, the desert comes alive with wildflowers, all seizing their chance to flower and seed the next generation. I'm continuing along Middle Road, where great dams, scratched up from the surrounding earth, stored the equivalent of liquid gold, the water for the livestock. This is Bottom Bore. It's one of the places they use to water the stock. There's 3 water tanks here, and some stockyards over there, plus some other bits of machinery around. It's really in the middle of nowhere, but yet they let the sheep and cattle roam throughout this country. The tanks were made with corrugated iron and then cement laid on the inside around with some Rio mesh to help reinforce it. That gave it a good waterproofing. As you can see, it doesn't last very long in the desert. All the sands have shifted and moved. Everything else is cracked. This motor probably ran some sort of pump. I'm thinking this top section may actually be a pump. It's got a couple of inlets and outlets here. So it would have helped transfer water around to different tanks or maybe some of the water troughs. Still on the original plank. This 8-strand stockyard was probably made for cattle. It's all native timber again, locally sourced. It's withstood the test of time pretty well. It's very much intact. The ruins of a comet windmill marks the spot of another livestock watering point. I've just left the last of the Dune country. We're now heading up towards the jump ups, which is the mountainous sort of range. It's where harder layout of rock on top protected the underlying substrate and everything else around it eroded away. So you got the slow-lying country and the jump ups up here. Very lucky that Sturt is quite diversified in its landscapes. This is the Binerah Downs Homestead ruin, a former sheep station. It became part of the national park a few years after the park was gazetted. There's basically nothing here other than a few different concrete slabs, some fencing, and a large dam. Looks like most of the building material was the local gibber rock mixed with concrete. So nothing too expensive to build this. getting back more towards the Gibber now. It's constantly changing. A bit harsher on the tyres. Still, otherwise the tracks are pretty good out here. There's nothing really that's difficult anyway. It says 4-wheel drive only, but it's very simple. It's getting a bit late in the afternoon. I haven't had lunch, so I'm going to stop here on this Gibber Plain and just enjoy the isolation and serenity. I love how well these kangaroos blend into the Gibber, their colours matching the subdued orange and grey hues of the rocks and bushes. I've arrived at Untitled Downs Homestead. It's off limits to the public. It was formerly owned by the Kidman Company and was quite a lavish place back in the day with a tennis court and swimming pool. Just around the corner there's probably what was once the stockman's accommodation. Just basic rooms, probably a dozen or so, kitchen and toilets down the bottom. They're pretty well dilapidated. There's not really much left to see, but you can get a glimpse of how the stockman lived. Around the back is the showers. So it's got a couple of different contraptions here which look like they used to make hot water, as well as the water storage tank. All very simple. And out the back here are the toilets. Untitled Downs Campground is my final campsite on this tour. Toilets, barbecues and tables are provided. I'm somewhat saddened that this trip is coming to an end, but greater opportunities are ahead of me. Another beautiful day. I'm on the jump up walking track. I'm doing the longer hike, which will be a 3.5 kilometre walk out to the top of a jump up, and it should offer some stunning views. I reached the first turn-off for the longest section of the track. The track's pretty roughly made, but there's plenty of markers along the way so you won't get lost. Spider web. Very interesting rock structures out here. Just check out this stunning view. Way off into the distance, as far as the eye can see, all the jump ups around the place. Such a harsh skipper plain below, and the little creek lines that wind through the landscape. It's a fairly magical country, this. The jump ups is a local term for the grey range. A weather-resistant material called silkreete covers the tops of the jump ups, protecting the underlying material from erosion, while the surrounding matter erodes away, forming these unique structures. I've arrived back in the campground. That was a really worthwhile walk, so if you're here, make sure you do it. Do the longer one out to the jump ups. It's fine for the whole family, I think. You just got to really watch your footing on the loose rocks. It's probably going to be an ankle buster if you place a foot wrong. A beautiful view. So onwards now to finish off the rest of Sturt. The Jump Ups Lookout offers an easy access drive and a beautiful 180-degree view of all this incredible landscape. So vast. All this low-lying Gibber Plain and all the creeks are snaking through it. Has its own unique beauty, despite being so harsh, but it is beautiful. We are entering uncertain times, where freedoms we took for granted become crimes with the stroke of a pen, where we allow our possessions to own and define us, and all that we have worked for may be reduced to naught in a day. In these times, we are forced to reflect inward and reveal what truly matters to us. This tour marks 22 months of living my dream of exploring Australia, seeking adventure, escaping the insanity and facade of the cities for the truth of the Outback, where Mother Nature is just and responsibility our own. Whatever the future holds, I have no regrets. I know I have achieved something to be proud of. Self-sufficiency, inner confidence, the knowing I can handle what the universe throws at me, seeking the good and learning opportunities from all experiences. I've unlocked that part of me I repressed for many years due to fear and have become free. I hope you can find the courage to look inward and decide for yourself what truly matters to you, not what social pressures and conformity tells you to want, do and be, but what lights you up from within. Life is short. We don't know how long we've got. There's a bird hide here, so you can come along and watch the birds and not disturb them. It's really nice. There is still a fair bit of water in here. I've seen at least 3 or 4 different species. Some ducks, some grebes, these swallows. That's nice, though. If you've got some time, you can sit quietly, maybe early morning, you might see some more. Let's look now at the places we've travelled together over the last week. So we started in Binerah and went up and took the Gorge Loop Road. Check out the Horton Park ruins, South Torrens Bar, climbed Mount Wood, the Gorge Lookout, and stayed at the Mount Wood Campground. The next day I came to the Dead Horse Gully Campground and checked out the museum for the mining. Went up this way past the Wacker Play Pan and stayed out at Fort Grey Campgrounds and did the walk out to the lake and saw the Blaze Tree. Next day I came out and did Cameron Corner. After that I did the Middle Road. It goes all across and stayed at the Olive Down Campground, saw the jump ups, and then went down the Jump Up Loop Road finally. Past Mount King and saw the South Myers tank with a bird watching hide, and then back to Binerah. So I've pretty much seen the whole entire park, all the tracks that are available. And that concludes my 1 week exploring Sturt National Park in far northwest New South Wales. It's been a great adventure. Sturt is really quite diversified. You might think it coming in that it's one type of terrain, but it does vary quite a bit, from the rolling sand dunes out to the Gibber Plains, the jump ups, and some forested sections down below. It's really well worth coming and visiting. Beautiful spot. Just make sure you're prepared. It is a fairly remote area, and the number of people you see will vary. So I've really enjoyed this trip. Make sure you don't wait until retirement. Get out there, live your some days today, pick a date and make it happen. Get the adventure into ya. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next adventure. G'day. I hope you've enjoyed this film. If you'd like to assist in the creation of more videos without being committed to a monthly Patreon subscription or spending any additional money, click on this link, how you can help. For several ways you can contribute to my productions. Thanks.